So the first thing, I will give you the agenda of today, like what are the things we are gonna cover. So what I will do, I'll just take a new board. Okay. So we have already covered project introduction, and NLP pipeline. So this is already covered. Now, today I'm going to discuss about something called project setup. Okay, project setup and utility module. Okay, so whenever I'll be discussing this one, project setup and utility module. So there you need to do some of the things. The first thing actually will be see how to create the project template. Okay, how to create the project template. After that, we'll be set up the requirements. Set up requirements, and then we'll configure GCP. Okay, that means Google Cloud Platform, because I already told you I'm going to use GCP here. Okay, G Cloud here. So for this, I need to configure it first of all, like how we can set up this GCP SDK in our system and how to configure it. When this class has been started, yeah, it just started now only, Shaidul. Then after that, I'll tell you how to write the logging, because these are the thing I think is common. You have already learned in every projects login. Then you have something called exception. So I'm not going to write these are the code from scratch. Okay, you already know this part, like how to write logging, how to write exception. So this part would be common for every projects. Okay, then after that, after that actually what I will do, logging exception is done. uh, yeah, after that I'll tell you the workflow project workflow. Okay, like there would be lots of files and folder. Now one question would be in your mind, which file I need to change first and which file I need to change last. So for this project workflow is required. If you have the exact workflow, by referring the workflow actually you can upgrade your code. Okay, so always try to make this kinds of workflow. And with that actually I will also show you how to manage this one actually, your flowchart. So whenever you are trying to create any kinds of projects, you should have the flowchart. So for example, I created one flowchart for you. See guys, this is the flowchart of my folder structure. So I'll refer this particular flowchart and I'll be creating one by one. Okay. So you will have a reference, good reference. So this is the good, I think, habit whenever you are writing code. Make everything ready and then start the coding. Got it? So yeah, I think these are the thing I'll be covering today. Project template, setup, requirements, config, GCP, logging, exception, project workflows. Yeah, that's it, I think. This is the agenda for today. Do the template for NLP projects differs from the ML and DL projects template? Yes, it would be a little bit different. Whenever I'll be creating, you will get to know. See, again, project template is not a fixed. Okay, you can create your own template. It's completely fine. The template I have created, this template I personally like. But if you have any other, let's say, idea, okay, if you can manage your code in a good way, apart from my template, you can create it. Okay, there is no fixed rule. You need to use that particular template only. Okay, template can be created anything, okay, by the developer. Okay, so guys, hope this agenda is clear. Everyone, please give me a thumbs up in the chat so that I can continue with the session. Okay, let me change the view. Okay, I think this view is fine now. I think you can see everything. All right, so the first thing, let's create the project template. Okay, so I already shared this GitHub repo with you. Let's try to clone this particular repository. So I already cloned here. So let me open up my VS Code here. And those who are using Neuralab, if it is not working, I think Neuralab is under maintenance right now. So please give us some time. It will be like relaunch again. Okay. So as of now, you can do it in your local machine. It's completely fine. So here I will open up my code editor. Hmm. Fine. The first thing I need to create the template. Okay. So for this, let's create a template file here. Okay. I think you already saw how to create a template. So I won't be explaining this thing very much. So template.py. So with the help of this template.py, I can create my project template. Okay. Now here, some of the common code actually I usually write. I think you already saw, okay, from my previous project itself. So let me just copy those of the code. So the first thing you just need to import some of the library, and with that you just need to write the login string. Okay, so this is the login string I have written, and these are the package actually I'm importing one by one. Okay, why I need this login string? Because whenever you will execute that template.py file, it will also show the log in the terminal. Yeah, you can follow with me. Okay, yeah, and I will commit the code in my GitHub. Okay, once I complete one particular file, you can clone it, or you can pull the changes, and you can, okay, try by yourself. No need to code, I mean, no need to write code in I mean with me, because I'll be going a little bit fast, because you these are the code already common. Okay, I'm not going to write each and every line one by one. Okay, yeah, fine. Now what I need to assign, guys, now let me open this flowchart. Okay, see, this is the flowchart of my folder structure. Okay, see, this is the flowchart of my folder structure. Now first of all, you just need to create one folder. Okay, folder with your project name. So this is the like previous project like flowchart I'm using. So I created one project called helmet detection. So this one I brought because if you change the name, everything would be common only. So here, instead of helmet, what is the project actually we're doing, guys? Can anybody tell me? Instead of helmet detection, what should I write? My root folder, my project root folder name. Please tell me. Instead of helmet detection, what should I write there? What is the project name? Yesterday I already discussed project name. Head classification. Yeah, you're correct. But see, no need to take any bigger name. Let's take a small name only. So can I take head only? If I give head only, so I can understand. Okay, this is the project root name, right? So instead of helmet, what I can do, I can take a head. So here I will just write project name. Okay, project underscore name. Okay, project underscore name wise, it is head. Okay, so this is the root folder name. Now here I just need to create a list of the file. Okay, list of the files and folder I will be creating. So list of files. Okay, so here it is going to be a list. Inside that I'll be creating all the files and folder I need here. Okay, so first of all, what I need, let me tell you. If I open up my this flowchart, so the first thing what I need, guys, I need this one component. Okay, and this component folder, why it is, I mean, exist, can you tell me this component folder why it is exist? Should I create this component folder outside of the head folder or inside of the head folder? Tell me. Just see this flow, guys, see this flow, you will able to understand. Okay, this is kinds of tree only I have created. So inside the head folder, should I create this component, or outside of the head folder should I create? Guys, please write down something. Okay, inside, yes, you are correct. So for this, what I can do, can I write like that? So here I will just write if string, and inside that, first of all, I need to create what? I need to create my project name. That means project I mean main folder. Okay. Now inside that I'll be creating my component, right? So what is the name? It is components, I think. It is components. Yeah. So let's create this folder, components, compo components. Okay. Now components is what? Components is a folder. That means it's a local package. Okay. So for this, I just need to create one constructor file inside that. So underscore init underscore dot py. Okay. Done. Now let me again open this particular file and see. See, we have created components. Now inside components, I need to create some of the file. That means data ingestion. Then I have something called data transformation. Then I have something called a model trainer. Okay. Then model evaluation and model pusher. Okay. So these 5 component I need to write. Okay, inside component. So let's create one by one. So first of all, what I will do, I'll copy the same thing, and instead of init.py, I'll just write data underscore ingestion. Okay, ingestion.py, then data transformation.py, data transformation.py, formation.py. Then I have something called model trainer, model underscore trainer. Okay, model trainer.py. Then I have something called model evaluation.py, model evaluation.py. Then I have something called model pusher.py, model pusher, because I also need to push the model, okay, to the GCP cloud. That's why I also need to write this particular file called model pusher.py. Okay, so my component is ready. As you can see, I created my root folder name, that is head. Inside that I created components and all the file I created, okay, inside the components. Got it? Now what I need to do, I just need to write the configuration. Okay, I need to create another folder called configuration. Now let me create a folder called configuration. So what I will do, I'll copy this particular line, and here I'll be pasting. Okay, instead of component, what I will write, I'll just write configuration. Configuration. Okay, configuration. Inside that I'll be creating another constructor file called underscore init underscore dot py. Okay. uh yeah, configuration I created. Now what I need to do inside configuration, if you don't have GCP account, you can as of now watch this particular video. Whenever you have the account, you can try, but you should have the account. Okay, if you're learning something, you should have the account. So this is the prerequisite. Okay. Now see, inside configuration, what I need to write. See, this is the project actually I did for the S3. Okay, that means I was using AWS cloud here, but the project actually I'm doing right now, I'm using GCP cloud. So instead of S3 operation, what I need to write, I need to write my GCP GCP configuration. Okay, so here what I can write inside configuration, I'll be just write G cloud sensor. Okay, let's name it as sensor. Okay, G cloud sensor, because it will sense the file from the G cloud, and it will sense the file from my local to G cloud. Okay, that's why I'll be naming it as sensor. Okay, G cloud sensor.py. Yeah, I think it is fine. Configuration G cloud sensor.py. Okay, now let's see the next thing. Next thing is configuration is done. Now I need to create the constant. Okay, now let's create the constant. So again, what I will do, inside project name only, I'll copy, and here I'm going to paste it. And instead of component, I just need to give the name of constant. Constant, I think it is fine. Constants. Okay, now inside that I'll be creating one constructor file. Okay, underscore init underscore dot py. It's done. Now I'll be creating something called entity. Okay, now let's create the entity. So what is entity, what is constant, I'll be discussing whenever I'll be writing my code. Okay, as of now, let's create the folder structure only. So now what I will do, I'll copy, and instead of constant, what I will give, I'll give just entity. Okay, so again I'll be creating one constructor file. Okay, called underscore init underscore dot py. Now inside that, first of all, I need something called config entity. Okay, so here I'll just write config underscore entity entity. Okay, then I also need something called artifact entity. Okay, so here I'll just write artifact arti artifact entity. Okay, artifact entity, I think it is fine. Yeah, So it is done also. I already created entity, artifact entity, and config entity. Now I also need to create something called exception. Okay, because here I'm going to write the exception. Okay, then logger. Now let's create the folder. So I'll copy this particular line, and here I'll paste. So instead of entity, first of all, I'll be creating something called exception. Okay, so except exception. So exception, inside that I'll be creating one constructor. Then simultaneously I'll be creating something called logger. So logger. Okay, again it should be a constructor file. Now let's see what I need to create. Logger I created. Then I need to create something called pipeline. Okay, now let's create the pipeline, because inside the pipeline I'll be assigning my training pipeline as well as my prediction pipeline. So let's do it. So here what I will do, I'll copy this line, and here instead of component I'll just name it as pipeline. Then inside that I'll be creating my training pipeline. First of all, train underscore pipeline. Then inside that I'll be creating my prediction pipeline. Prediction pipeline. Yeah, I think it is done. Now let me check. Pipeline is created. Utils I don't need in this project. Okay. Utils I'm not going to use. I need to create something called ML folder. Okay. Why I need ML folder, I will tell you. As of now, let's create ML folder. So what I will do, I'll copy this particular line. Okay. Instead of pipeline, it should be ML. And inside that, it will have one constructor file. Then inside ML, I'll be creating another file called model, because the model actually I'm going to use that RNN model I'll be creating, right? I'll be creating inside this one only, inside this folder only called ML. Okay. Inside this model file, I'll be writing that particular model configuration and I'll be importing. Okay, if I need. So ML is also done. I think I'm done. I also need to create some additional file. So let's create quickly. I need something called this one. I need something called my main.py, main, or let's say app.py. App.py. I don't need f string. Then I need something called mm, demo.py. Then I need something called requirement.txt. Requirements.txt. Okay. Then I need something called docker file. Docker file. Then I need something called setup.py. Setup. Setup.py. Anything else I need, guys? Do you remember? I think these are the things only I need. I also need something called docker ignore. Docker ignore. Docker ignore. Docker ignore. Okay. If I need anything else, I'll be creating later on. So let's create, these are the files only. Okay. And I also need one folder called flowchart. Okay. So what I can do, I just, or I'll be manually creating. Okay. It's fine. What are the ways we can improve this project so that we can mention in the resume? First of all, like, see the project. Okay, like, try to join at the end of this series, then try to consider, okay, whether this project is improved or not. Okay, because as of now it might look simple, but whenever I'll be creating one, okay, this one, you will see the difficulty level, right? And know why you will be getting these kinds of projects. Okay. All right, now let's create these folders and file. So for this, I used to write these are the logic. It will iterate through this list, and first of all, it will create what? It will create the folder. If my folder is created, it will create the file one by one. Okay, and if something in exist, it will tell you this file is already exists. Got it? Now let's check whether everything is working fine or not. So here, what I will do, I'll open up my terminal and let's execute this template.py. See guys, done. Now if you see, all the files has been created. Now if I open the head folder, inside that, see, I created everything, components, my configuration. Okay, inside configuration I missed out one thing. Inside configuration, here I written the configuration, I think. I also need to create one constructor file, right? Because again, it's a local package. So let me add it here. Constructor file. Now let's run it again. Okay, now I think it has created configuration. Now see, constructor file is there. Constant entity, exception, logger, ML, pipeline. Okay. Now guys, tell me if everything is fine. Are you able to understand? Yes or no? How I created this template, and it is matching with this flowchart or not? Tell me. I referred the same flowchart and I created. Okay, only I changed some of the name. That's it. Please give me a confirmation, yes or no. Okay, great. Now let me give you this flowchart as well. So what I will do, I'll create a folder manually here called flowchart. Flow flowchart. Okay. So inside that, I'll give this particular flowchart. Let me just give you this flowchart. This is my project. I created one folder called flowchart. Inside that, I will paste it. Okay, now what I will do, I'll just quickly commit the changes in my GitHub so that you can pull the changes. So everything is done. Yeah, so everything is done. So here, this is the project name. So let's push the changes. So I'll just write folder structure added, structure added. Let's change the changes. Done. Now if I go back to my GitHub and refresh, see everything I updated. Now you can clone it. Okay. Hmm. So we have seen how to create the project template. Now let's do the requirement installation, okay? Because I need some requirements in this particular project. So the first thing what I need to do, I need to create one virtual environment. So let me just write here how to run. So let me just mention all the command. First thing, you need to create one environment. So conda create hyphen n. Let's create the name of this environment as a head. Let me check first of all this environment I'm having or not. I'll be clearing conda env list. Okay, I'm already having this environment. Okay, so what I will do, I'll use this environment only, but for you I'll just write the command what to do. So conda create hyphen n head python equal to uh, let me check the version actually I was using. So conda activate head 3.8 actually I was using, so you also need to use 3.8. So here let me just write python equal to 3.8 hyphen y. Okay, so this is the command you need to execute to create the environment. Okay, after that what you need to do, you need to activate the environment. So conda activate conda activate head. After that what you need to do, you need to install the requirements. So pip install excuse me, pip install hyphen r requirement.txt. Then after that, yeah, so this is thing only, these are the setup actually step, okay, you need to follow. So let me just add the requirements now. So all the requirements I'll be adding here. So let me show you the requirements actually you need for this particular project. Mm, So these are the requirement you need. Let's say NumPy you need, Pandas you need, TensorFlow, because I'm going to use Keras, okay, Keras TensorFlow to create my RNN network. Then Matplotlib, Seaborn. So these are the additional package actually I'm using, and I need this Google Cloud storage. Okay, why I need this Google Cloud storage? Because here you will be using Google Cloud, okay, to like ingest the data or to push your model. If you want to authenticate with your Google Cloud, you need this library, okay, called Google Cloud Storage. Then I will be using Fast API, okay, in this particular project, because you already saw like how to create the web app using Flask and this one Streamlit. That's why I brought this Fast API one. Okay, then I also need some additional package called Unicorn and Jinja 2. Then I'm adding this hyphen space dot. Can you tell me why I'm adding this one hyphen space dot? Guys, any idea why I'm adding this hyphen space dot? Yes, you can also deploy this particular project to AWS. Okay, it is also possible. Yeah, to install local packages. Okay, setup file is required. Yeah. So now let's write the setup file. I think you know what to write in setup file because these are the things are common only. Okay, so let me just show you my setup.py. So this is the now let me just change my email here. So let's give my email. Okay. So this is the setup file I created. So this setup file, what it will do, it will figure out this particular constructor file, okay, in every folder, and it will install that particular folder as my local package. Okay. So this is the idea. Fine. Now let's install my requirements. So I'll already activate it. So pip install hyphen r requirement.txt. Now it will install everything. For me it is satisfying because I already installed previously. Okay, that's why. Done. Now let me push the changes so that you can also get it all the requirements. So requirements added. Requirements added. Done. Now let's go back and see. See, I have added each and everything. Now you can get the code from here only. Okay, just copy paste from here only. Fine. Now what I need to do, guys, I already set up my environment. Okay, that means set up my requirements. Now let's configure the GCP. Okay, let's configure the GCP. But before that, should I write the logging exception or not? Okay, let's write the logging exception. Then I think I can configure the GCP. Okay. Now let's write the logging and exception. The first thing I'll be writing the logging. So to write the log, open this particular folder called logger. Inside that you will see one constructor file. Let's open it up. Will TensorFlow be used in this project? What you can see here. See, I'm using TensorFlow only, right? Yeah, inside TensorFlow, you have the Keras, right? Because Keras has merged with TensorFlow right now. So if you want to create anything with the help of Keras, you should install TensorFlow. So here I'm going to so I'll be using TensorFlow to create that. Guys, now am I audible? Can you hear me? Hello, am I audible? Hello, am I audible? It's breaking or it is fine. I think now it is fine. Please confirm in the chat whether you can hear me or see me. Okay, I think it is fine now. Hmm. Sorry, there was a small, I think, I don't know. Hmm. Okay, so what I was telling this one. Actually, you should use something called Keras. Okay, Keras to create the custom architecture. Form root package you need because this package help us to find my root folder. In case actually, which is my root folder? If I open my terminal, which is my root folder? Tell me. Root folder is nothing but this is the my root folder, right? End-to-end project implementation. Inside that, I'm having all the folder structure, right? So it will automatically figure out this is my root folder. So that's why you need. Okay, so now let's write the logger. So I'll open the logger, and here I think you already know how to write the logger. It's like very easy. So this is the code of logger. So this is the code of logger. See, so here what I'm doing, mm, just a minute. I think I need to select my environment here, the environment I created. So this is hate environment, I think this one. Hmm. See, first of all, I'm importing some of the library, and here I'm writing my log file, as you can see. Okay, so this should be the log file, and how this log file would be created. Okay, with the help of the timestamp, it will create it. Okay, let's say every time it will execute the log file, it will create the different timestamp. Let's say I'm running this particular code right now. It will track my current timestamp and date, and it will save the log file with respect to the name. So what will happen? You can track the execution of your code. Let's say you executed one code, let's say right now. After 1 hour, you executed the same code. Okay, so what was the like log in this two file? You can track separately. Okay, instead of rewriting the log file again and again, what you can do, you can create a timestamp log. Okay, I'll tell you whenever I'll execute this particular file, this should be very much clear. Then after that, I'm creating a folder. Then I'm creating my log file. Then after that, this is the configuration I have written. Okay, so this is the format of the log. First of all, it will track the ASCII time, that means the current timestamp, name of the log, label name, and message. Okay, so to give you better understanding, what I can do, I can execute this particular file and show you. So for this, I'll open this demo.py. Okay, so let's import the logger here. So from hit, okay, from hit dot logger. Just a minute. Okay, so from head.logger import login. Okay, now what I will do, I'll just write login dot info, and here just give any message. So let's say welcome to our project. Okay, so let's say this is the log I have written. Now I'll save it and execute this particular demo file. Okay, so python demo.py. See, now if you see left hand side, it has created this log file. Now see, it has created one folder with the same timestamp, and inside that it has created this log file. Okay, now if I open this log, now see guys, what are the information you can see here? First of all, it will save the current timestamp and date. It is running from my root folder. How it is taking the root folder? With the help of this one. I think you saw, with the help of this form root. Here I have already written. See, here I have already written form root. Okay, form root automatically will track my root folder, right? Then here is the log message. Welcome to my project. Okay, welcome to our project. That's it. Fine. Now let's say I'll execute this particular file again. So what I will do, I'll execute this particular file again. So instead of replacing that particular log file, it will create another folder. Okay. See, it will create another folder with the same timestamp. I executed my code. Inside that, you will see my log. Got it, guys? How I'm handling the log? Yes or no? It is clear. Logging module is clear. Yes or no, guys? I hope this is clear. This is like very common for every project you usually do. Okay, it is clear. Now let's write down our exception file. Okay, logging is complete. So let me just quickly mark it. What are the things I have completed? Project template is done. Setup is done. Logging is done. Now let's do the exception one. So exception. So for exception, again, open this particular exception folder. Inside that you have constructor file. Let me open it up. Again, exception is the same common thing I'll be using. So we have already written our exception. So this is our custom exception only. Okay, we have written. Let me show you. See guys, this is the exception. So here I have written one method called error message detail. Okay. Now here is the class I have written called custom exception. I'm inheriting with my inbuilt exception module because in Python, you know, we already have one exception module. Okay. See, let me show you. Import exception. Import exception. See, this is the inbuilt module inside Python. So I'm inheriting. Okay. I'm inheriting with the exception module. And see, I'm assigning the super class. Do you know the super class concept, guys? Anyone? That's why I told you object-oriented programming is required here. Anyone learned the super class inside class method and all? Do you know like what is inheritance, super class? Remember, guys? Are you like have you ever used this super? Okay. See, basically, what I'm trying to say, I'm telling I want to inherit everything from my exception. Okay, the exception I'm having. Okay, now see here I'm assigning super, then after that I'm just returning. So basically whatever error message actually I'm getting, okay, I'm just showing here as you can see. And this is helping us which file it is throwing the error, what is the line number, okay, which method, everything it will give you the exception. Okay, now let me show you how this thing will show you. So what I will do again, I will import inside demo.py. So let me import. Mm, hmm. So let me import. So here I can write from head dot exception. Okay, head dot exception import. What is the class name, guys? I think you remember this is custom exception. Let's me copy and here let me import custom exception. Fine. Now what I will do here, I'll just write one exception. Let me just write one exception. Okay. So now let's say I'll comment this line. So here I can write a try except block try. Let's say what here what I will do. I'll just do a mistake here. Okay, let's do a mistake. So a is equal to 7 divided by, let's say, 0. So let's say this is my code I have written. Okay, now here what I will do, I'll just write my exception, except exception, as e, and inside that I'll just write my custom exception. So raise my custom exception, and inside that I need to give this the exception I'm getting, and also need to give my system. Okay, system package. I also need to import system. So import sys. Yeah, so from e. Now let's see what will happen. So I'll execute this particular file. So python demo.py. Now guys, see, I'm getting my exception and it is telling each and everything. See, it is telling you are running file demo.py. It is raising the exception cause a custom exception error occurred python script demo.py. See, now you can see which file it is giving the error. It is giving inside demo.py. Line number 9. See, if I go to the line number 9, see, this is the line number 9. Okay, and what is the mistake you are doing here? Error message unsupported operand types, okay, for division, integer and string. So basically what you are trying to do, you are trying to divide integer number by string. Got it? So is it possible to divide integer number by string? See, it is giving the entire details of the error message. That's why we write our custom exception always. Fine. Now, if you want to learn like how to write the custom exception, you can visit this Python documentation. So custom exception Python docs. So there is the official documentation, okay, from Python. You can learn from here how to write the custom exception. So I referred from here and I have written this particular uh, this one custom exception. Okay. So these are the Python basics of Python only, not anything else. Okay, I hope this logging and exception is clear. Now let's see what are the things are left. So exception is also clear. Now let's configure our GCP. Okay, let's configure our GCP. So if you have any GCP account, you can log in with the console. So I already have the GCP account. Let me show you. See, this is my GCP account. I already logged in with my console. So this is the interface. Okay, this is the interface of my GCP. And here I selected my first project. Okay, see, this is my project I created. So whenever you create the GCP account, it will tell you create the projects. Okay, this is my project. I named it as my first project. Okay, now here what is the service actually I'm going to use? Okay, the service I'm going to use something called bucket. Okay, GCP bucket. So just search about buckets. Okay, if you search about buckets, so you will get this service. Okay, this is the bucket. Now here you can create a bucket. Like in AWS, you create something called S3 bucket. Okay, here you will need to create something called GCP bucket. Okay, so here, first of all, you need to create the GCP bucket. So let's create the GCP bucket here. So I'll create a bucket, and here you need to give the name. So you can give any kinds of name. So here I will give hate underscore speech. This name should be unique. Okay, so let's give a unique name. Speech. Let's say live. Okay, live project. Or what I can do, hate speech 2024. Okay, so let's say I'll give this number so that it would be a unique name. Okay, if everything is fine, now just try to create this bucket and give a confirmation. See, this bucket is created. Okay, now here what you need to do, you need to upload your data. Now see, I already collected the data. Let me show you the data once, how this data will look like. This is the data. This is the data, guys. See here, I downloaded two CSV file. One is like imbalanced data, and this is like raw data. I'll discuss why I collected these two data whenever I'll do the notebook experiment. There I'll show you. Like I just wanted to show you how to handle the imbalanced data here. Okay, now if I open, let's say this raw data, let me open with the help of this one only. It's a CSV data. See, here you have some of the columns: count, hate speech, and offensive language. Okay. See, here you have hate speech. With respect to that, you have also the label. Okay. As of now, just ignore this part. Whenever I load the data in my notebook, this part would be clear, like how this data is ascending. So I already downloaded this data from where? From the Kaggle itself. Okay. And here I already made a zip file. So let me share this data with you. So what I'll do, I'll copy this zip file and I'll go to my project folder. And here what I will do, I'll create a folder called data. Okay, inside that, maybe I can share this one with you. Yeah, so now what I will do, I'll quickly commit the changes. Mm, data. So let me share the data with you. So data edit. So you can download the data from my GitHub now. See, it has been pushed. Now let me go to my GitHub. And here is the data. See, inside data folder, here is the data.zip file. So you can download this particular zip file. If you unzip it, you will able to see these two particular CSV file, raw CSV and imbalanced data.csv. Now what you need to do, you need to upload this zip file. Okay, you need to upload this zip file inside your bucket. Now let's upload, because I want to ingest the data from my G-Cloud bucket. Okay, that's why I need to first of all upload it. So let's upload here. So if you just drag and drop, it will upload this dataset zip file. See, it has uploaded. Okay, now let's test it whether I'm able to download this particular zip file or not. Okay, from my G-Cloud. For this, I need to configure my GCP. Okay, so how to configure? So you need to install one toolkit. So let me show you the toolkit you need to install. So let me give you the link as well. So inside README file, I'll give the link. Okay, G Cloud CLI. So this is the exe you need to install if you are using Windows machine. So let me show you. So this is the this is the file you need to install, G Cloud installer. Now you need to just double click and install the way we actually install the software. Okay, you need to do next, 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 and you need to do the done operation. Okay, once you do it, what you need to do? You need to open up the terminal, and here you just need to write Z Cloud. Okay, Z Cloud, Z Cloud init, Z Cloud init. If you execute this one, so it should give this particular interface. See, it will give you one interface. See, this particular interface it will give you. Now here you need to select your account, the account you are using. Okay, I'll tell you how to select the account. Okay, so the first thing what you need to do, guys, I already given you this particular link. So let me commit it. So that you can install it. So I'll commit it again. README updated. So make sure this setup should be ready. Okay, because tomorrow I'm going to start with my first component data ingestion. So this setup should be ready, guys. Okay. So if you're not able to do the setup today, by tomorrow you should do it. If you have the account and all, you should do the setup. Now see, I already added the link in my README file. See, if you just click here, it will start download. And if you are using any other, let's say, operating system, so here you just simply search how to install G Cloud SDK, G Cloud SDK. Okay, G Cloud SDK. So let's go to like official and like website, and here they have given for all the operating systems. See, if I go below, get started for free recommendation CLI. See, this is for the Windows. This is for the Windows. If you're using Mac OS, you need to follow. These are the actually like you can say uh, step. If you're using CentOS or any other, or let's say Ubuntu Debian, you can follow. These are the command. Okay, and if you're using Linux, you need to follow. These are the command. And for Windows, they're telling you can directly download this SDK file. This one actually exe file. Okay, if you read it, so see they're telling you can directly download that file and you can install it. So the link I have shared with you, this link. Okay, simply you just need to like install it. Okay, after installing you just need to write this command called gcloud init. Okay, so let me just write down the command as well. Gcloud init. After installation you need to execute gcloud init, gcloud init. Okay, this is the command. So it will initialize that gcloud. See, now it is telling here it is telling, see, this is my account. I logged in with my account. This is my account. I already logged in with this account. iCloud @ineuron.ai, and this is the project currently I'm in. Okay. So what you can do, let's say for the first time, okay, for the first time you will see there won't be any account. You need to select the account. Okay. So what you can do, you can give the name. Okay, you can give a name here. So let's say I'll give one name here called create a new configuration. Okay. So here I'll go to the second number, like this option, create a new configuration. Now it is asking enter the configuration name, start with lowercase. So here I can give any name. So let's say live project. Okay, so this is the name I have given. Okay, now it is initializing. See, it's done. Now it is telling choose the account you would like to use to perform operation for this configuration. So I'll go with this account because I'm using this account. Okay, I won't be using this account because this account I'm not having. iCloud identity.ai. So you need to select the second option. Okay, for you it will come only one particular Gmail, because if you are only having one account, it will come only one. If you are having multiple account, it will giving multiple option. So I'll be selecting my second account. Okay, now see, you are logged in as iCloud. Now it is telling pick up the project. Okay, which project you want to use. Now if I go to my GCP, okay, if I go to my GCP, you can see here, if I go to my home section, so this is my project actually I'm in currently, my project. Okay, And if you see the my project ID, it is hybrid shelter 398207. Okay, this one actually, hybrid shelter 398207. So I'll be picking up this particular project. So I'll give one and press enter. Okay, do you want to configure as a default region and zoom? Here I will give as yes. Okay, now it is telling too many options. Enter a list from to client. Please enter the numerical choice or value. Now it is telling which region actually you want to select. So here let me see the region actually. Mm, if you see the region, project ID hybrid. If I go to my cloud storage, here is the region located. Multiple region in United States. Okay, so what you can do here, uh, did not point operation to many regions to enter the list, must exactly match the item list. Maybe I can give the enter. Please the value between. Okay, I'll be picking up this one actually. US East one. Okay, so this one I think I can take. So I'll give one. Okay, now it is set. Now if I again execute that particular command G cloud init, so it should show everything. So I'm using this one, project region. Okay, that means everything is fine. Now what I will do, I'll just quickly execute. Okay, that means everything is configured. Okay, now if you want to test it whether it is working fine or not, now let's do a testing operation. So what I will do, I'll open my this one actually, this configuration. Inside that I have something called this G cloud sensor. Now let me write some of the code here. Okay, because for sensing some file or pushing some file you need some code. So I already prepared for you. So here is the code guys. Configuration G cloud sensor. So this is the class I have written. This is the class I have written. Okay, so here this what this class will do. See, first of all, it will sense the folder to G cloud. Let's say if you are having any folder or let's say file you want to sense, that means you want to push it to the G cloud, you can use this particular function. So this is the command it will execute. GS utils. Okay, CP means the copying that particular file to the GCP bucket URL. The URL you need to assign. The let's say this one, the bucket name you created. Now this name if you give, it will automatically uh, do it for you. Okay. Now here if you see, it is executing the command, and this one means you want to download any kinds of file from the G cloud. So let's say I'm having this particular file present, dataset.zip file. How to download? Using this one I can do it. Okay, gutils cp. Then again you need to give this particular URL, and inside that you need to mention your bucket name, file name, and the destination folder you want to download, and the file name again. Okay, then you are executing the command with the help of voice.system. Now let me check whether everything is working fine or not. So I'll open my demo.py. Let me just delete this at the thing, and let me import my. So from it dot configuration dot gsensor. Okay, import this class actually. I'll close this at the tab. G cloud sense. Okay, now let me initialize this G cloud sense as an object obj. Okay, then I'll call this particular method obj dot the second one, because I want to download that particular zip file from my G cloud. So since folder from G cloud, it will take some of the parameter GCP bucket URL, file name, and destination. So let me give it. So what is the bucket name guys? This is the bucket name. Let me copy the bucket name, and here let me give it. And it will also take something called file name. Okay, so what is the file name? It is dataset.zip, I think. Dataset.zip. So let me give the name. Here I can give dataset.zip. Dataset.zip. Okay, dataset.zip. And here you need to give the destination. Okay, so let's give the destination here only. Dataset.zip. Okay, now maybe it should work. So what I will do, I'll open up my terminal and execute python demo.py. See, it is copying. That means it is downloading. Okay, it is downloading that particular zip file. Now, if I show you, see, can you see this is downloaded here, guys? Dataset.zip. See, it is done. Now let me delete and again show you. Let me delete. Okay, let me delete and again if I execute. So basically here you need to give one folder location. So here you can give data. Or let's say download. Okay, download slash dataset.zip. Now if I execute, see it is copying. Done. Now see inside download, can you see this dataset.zip? That means it is working. So I'm able to configure with my GCP cloud. Okay, that means whatever I'm having inside my GCP bucket, okay, I can download, even I can push it there. Is it clear, guys? This GCP part is clear. How to configure? Yes or no? Please tell me. Is it clear? During deployment, I'll tell you. Okay. As of now, tell me, is it clear or not? Okay. So I hope, guys, this part is clear. Like how to just a minute. Okay. So it is clear for everyone, and we are able to ingest the data. That means we are able to download the data. Now, see, we have completed this one also. My this GCP configuration. Okay, this is also done. Now let's discuss the project workflow. Okay, because tomorrow I'm going to start my first component. Okay, so this thing is required. Okay, project workflows is required. Like which file you need to change first, which file you need to change last. Now, but that download folder name, can we make it just download name? But the download folder name, can we make it just download name? Yeah, you can name anything. Okay, this name you can name anything. Even this name you can name anything. Okay, the name actually will give the same name. Actually, it will use to download. Okay, Lincoln. Fine. Now let's write the project workflows. So here I'll open up my this one readme. So here let me write down the workflow. Project workflow. So project workflow wise, you need to first of all take care some of the file. See here, let me just write down. See, the first thing you need to upgrade something called constant. Okay, as you can see here, you have something called one constant folder. First of all, you need to update the constant. Once constant is updated, you need to update something called config entity. Okay, so inside entity, you have two kinds of entity. One is config entity, another is like artifact entity. So tomorrow I'm going to discuss what is config entity, what is artifact entity, and how to write it. I have the a flowchart as well. With the help of flowchart, I will make you understand and I will write the code. Okay. Then after that, artifact entity, I already told you. Then after that, you need to upgrade the components. Okay, component is nothing but your main components, your data ingestion, data transformation, model trainer, model pusher. These are the thing you need to upgrade. Once my component is upgraded, I need to upgrade my pipeline. Okay, so here if you see my pipeline is there. I have two kinds of pipeline, my training pipeline as well as my prediction pipeline. The first thing, I need to upgrade my training pipeline, because once my training pipeline is completed, I'll be writing my prediction pipeline. Got it? Then I need to upgrade my main.py. Okay, in case main.py is nothing but my demo.py, or you can say this one, my app.py. Okay, so here I can write my app.py. App.py. Okay, so this is my entire workflow. Okay, so I'll be referring this particular workflow, and tomorrow I'll be writing all the component one by one. Okay, first of all, I'll be writing the data ingestion. Then after that, see, if you understand the data ingestion, how I'm writing entirely with the help of these are the workflows. Okay, the rest of the component you will able to understand. Okay, but before that, I'll give you the notebook experiment, the entire project notebook experiment I'll be doing. Okay, I'll be loading this particular data. Okay, I'll be loading this particular data in my notebook. I'll be showing the analysis, how to do the NLP analysis, how to, let's say, clean it. Okay, how to do the feature engineering, how to train the model, how to evaluate the model, how to save the model, how to save the tokenizer. Each and everything I will give you as a notebook overview. After that, I'll try to create as an end-to-end pipeline. Fine. So I think all the agenda it is completed for today. Yeah. Now, guys, if you have any question, you can ask me. Otherwise, I think we can conclude the session for today because I completed my agenda for today. So let me commit the changes so that you can get the code. Hmm, update it. And make sure you have the setup ready, okay, for tomorrow. Otherwise, you won't be able to execute. So all the setup I showed you, okay, today. So all the setup should be ready. Make sure you installing the zcloud CLI and all the setup should be ready. Okay, see here I already upgraded all the thing.